Good evening. Thank you all for coming. We're going to give it a minute for everybody to show up. Melissa, Angel, I'm glad you both could make it. Sandy, I'm glad you could make it. How you doing this morning? Sarah, Lisa, Linda, I'm glad you all made it. There she goes. Sneaking by. Oh, witch's balls.
Which is helpful.
Yeah. Amanda, I'm glad you could make it. Barbara, I'm glad you made it. Lisa, Melissa. Oh, Miss Shaw, Melissa says hello.
Hello, baby.
Hello, Stacy, I'm glad you can make it. Peter, I'm glad you made it. Sarah's wishing both of us a wonderful evening. Delilah, I'm glad you made it. Jocelyn, hello. Alicia, I'm glad you made it. Maria, I'm glad you made it. How are we feeling today? Alonda. Peter, we always have a great day. Lots of things going on every day. Got to get all of your orders out. So we tend to make as much product as we possibly can to fill those orders every single day. Wisteria, I'm glad you found me. So tonight's episode is Jennifer, I'm glad you made it. Tonight's episode seems to be a recurring theme. I frequently get calls with people wondering, I'm all alone now, he just left me, how am I supposed to go on with life? My life has ended. And it feels like that. Good evening, Aaron. The good news is the sadness isn't going to last forever. And when you find yourself in this point in your life where everything's turned upside down and everything that you had planned is now gone, the only thing that you can do is go up. So you've got nothing to lose in trying these 7 steps. So it's critical Good morning. Good evening, Deb, Joanne, Marion, LaDonna, Tiffany, Sheila. Wisteria says that your candle worked really well.
Excellent.
Joanne, you're not that late. Couple minutes. Deb, how could you possibly forget your brother? I'm crushed. Tonita, I'm glad you could make it. So let's go ahead and get started. The rest of the ones that'll show up, they'll pop in. We'll say hello. So I've got 7 steps for you. The first 5 is about healing and fixing how you feel about yourself and how you feel about the situation. So no matter what the situation is, whether the spirits or your God or the universe has taken someone from you by taking them away from this realm, or if they've walked out the front door, they've kicked you out the front door, whatever the case may be, the first 5 steps work the same. Okay? So anytime you find yourself alone and missing that companionship of someone else, do these 5 steps and learn to incorporate these 5 steps into your life so that when you feel a loss, you possess the power to come back from it stronger. Okay? Even in reconciliation work, technically the first 5 steps that I talk about tonight is the first step in reconciliation. Identify what's wrong with you, get yourself fixed, make yourself whole. So by making yourself whole in reconciliation, you make it so that the lover comes back. And moving on, making yourself whole is about you being able to move on and walk away from the past. And again, the first 5 steps, it doesn't matter what the relationship is. Mother-daughter, mother-child, child-mother, best friends, parent or a grandparent or a guardian dies. No matter what it is, these first 5 steps work really well. And because many of you have been asking, I've also included a list of conjure tools that'll help you through each of the steps. So step 1 is let yourself cry. Grieve. This is a healthy thing. Find healthy outlets to grieve. Don't wallow in your sorrow, but cry. Talk to somebody that can relate or can sympathize or who can guide you. Write in a journal. Seek counseling or spiritual guidance. But talk to somebody and grieve. Let yourself cry. It's super important that we cry and we allow our emotions to be expressed. If we bottle emotions up or we hide from them, they're just going to get stronger and we're prolonging what needs to happen. Okay? And don't be afraid of the pain. Embrace this pain. Embrace this loss. Let it out of you. And one day, the pain will be gone. And you'll still be here. And this is the advantage of going through this, is it's okay to cry today. And tomorrow, if you feel like crying, you can cry tomorrow too. Again, don't wallow. Don't find an excuse to just be sorry that it's over. But if you feel the need to cry, cry. Okay? A couple of conjure tools during this part. Because phase one is about letting your emotions out, I would encourage you to burn a healing candle with some crown of success. I would also encourage you to carry a courage gree with you, because it'll help give you the strength to endure during this time. Steps 1 and 2 are the hardest by far of all 7 steps, because it's the start of the problem, and you're going to go through the five steps of emotion that come with a loss. So you're going to be in denial, and then you're going to get angry, and then you're going to get sad, and then you might go back into denial, and then eventually you'll get past sad, and you'll try to negotiate through it, and then eventually you get past it, and you're ready to heal. So, but you've got to let yourself go through the 5 steps, and nobody goes through the 5 steps the same way ever as anyone else, or even as themselves, because each relationship is different. So use the courage gree, use the healing candle. These things will help you. So after a time of grieving, you're going to want to stop crying. There'll still be times that you cry, but you're going to want to start doing something else. So after a couple of days, start taking care of yourself. Start pampering yourself. So work on getting rid of the negativity. And I've got many of you who've heard me talk about the roll of toilet paper and the Sharpie, and I've got some of you who swear that it doesn't make any sense. How can a roll of toilet paper and a Sharpie help me get rid of negativity? So first off, energy is energy. Whether it's sad energy, mad energy, negative energy, positive energy, it's just energy. What you give it is what it becomes. So if you're sad and depressed, and you feed that sad and depression with sadness and depression, you'll get more sadness and depression. But if you write down on that roll of toilet paper, if you pull out that Sharpie and you say, I'm sad because so-and-so left today, and you wipe your bottom with it, and you flush it down the toilet, eventually, after a few days, you won't write, I'm sad because so-and-so left. Maybe there'll be something else. But that problem will have gone. Because every time you wipe and flush that problem, you're pushing it away from you, opening up a void that can be filled with a different emotion, a different feeling. And at first, those feelings will be negative on top of negative on top of negative. But eventually, you'll run out of negative things. And they'll shift. So, use the roll of toilet paper. Change your energy. And most importantly, you just lost somebody. So don't wallow and become so depressed that you lose the one person that's most important to you right now. That you lose yourself. Because it'd be terrible for you to not just lose somebody you cared about, but to also lose yourself in this mess. So keep a hold of who you are. Maybe redefine who you are. This is an opportunity to change and grow. Take it. Okay? Also take care of yourself. So eat right. When we're in a relationship, we have a tendency to put on weight, especially as men. But women do too. Maybe not quite as much, but they still tend to get relaxed and they put on a little bit of weight, and it's healthy weight. But maybe you want to lose a few pounds. Maybe they're just vanity pounds, but eat better. Eat healthier. Don't go on binge drinking and chocolate, fetish consuming. Not at this point. At this point, eat right. Exercise. And pamper yourself every single day. Whether it's a hot bath or fragrant teas or buy yourself flowers. Cut flowers that when you come home, they're sitting on your desk or your table. Makes you feel good. And it's okay to love yourself. And go to a spa treatment. Pamper yourself so that you remember that you have value and that somebody loves you, even if it's you. Okay. Now, some conjure tools at this point. And by all means, be your best friend. Accept yourself, and others will begin to accept you. Some conjure tools here. It's time to start the cut and clear. Cut yourself from that old relationship. Cut yourself from those negativities. Cut yourself from the way things were so that you can find something new and better. Okay? And we sell a great intoxication candle that actually helps you. It makes you feel happy. It makes you find joy in yourself. It's conjure in a can, so it's got herbs and oils in it. It's made with intent to intoxify you. Okay. So step 3 is surround yourself with healthy supports. So seek support and encouragement. Talk to friends, talk to family, talk to your pets. Pets have this uncanny ability to heal the worst of any wound. So work with them. Now it's time to start focusing on new things, not dwelling in the past, starting to find ways of letting go of that. Now he's getting written on that toilet paper, and the bad memories of what went on are being written on the toilet paper, or the passing of that loved one being written on the toilet paper. Now you're to the root of the problem. You're starting to identify what has happened so that you can move on. Okay? But focus on the new. Some of the best tools that we can do there is it's time to redo your altar. Change your altar space. Take everything off the altar, clean it, work the wax out of the cracks from all the candle burnings, clean the soot off of the mirror. Give everything a nice good cleansing, and cleanse your spiritual space, because you're going to start new, you're going to start fresh. Now's your chance to rebuild that spiritual space and make it something about you. Doesn't matter what comes along, eventually it'll come along and it'll find its space. And then start a 21-day cleansing. A 21-day cleansing has 3 parts. I want you to do the first part during step 3, and that's actually the spiritual cleanse. It's a 7-day process, so at the end of that 7-day process, you should have everything else done. You should be talking with family. You should be reconnecting with friends. You should be cleansing and working through your altar space. By the end of that 7 days, that part of the candle's done. Your doll comes out of the water. It's time for it to be dried. You're refreshed. You're clean. And you let go of some of the things from the past. Okay? So then we go to step 4. And step 4 is critical. We're going to come back to step 4 later on. So remember that step 4 is super critical. We've done the first part of the 21-day cleansing, and now we're going to start taking action. Motion dictates your emotions. Remember that. Motion dictates your emotions. So exercise, go sing, go dance, do things that cause you to be active, and go have fun. Go find something fun by yourself, with friends, with a church group, with it doesn't matter. Just go do stuff, okay? Heck, dance in your living room naked for all I care. In fact, if you do, it'll do wonders for your spirit, okay? So the conjure working here is the second phase of the 21-day working. This is your road opener. So if it took you longer than 7 days to get here, that's fine. Your cleansing can wait until you're ready for the next phase. Okay? So it doesn't hurt to just let it sit there. Pray over it every day, meditate over it every day, but don't forget about it. Come back and do it when it's time to do it, when you feel like it's time to start opening roads and start taking adventures, because those are healthy things. Okay? So start your road opener phase of your 21-day cleansing. Okay? Then we go into step 5. Now, this is time to allow yourself to be in peaceful solitude. This is your opportunity to truly find who you are, to be comfortable in your own skin and with yourself, So do things that are fun to do by yourself. Go for nature walks. Take a cooking class. Do some gardening. Make art, to paint or draw, whatever you know tweaks your mind to have fun. Start doing those things. Okay? Travel. Take trips to places you've never been, because you'll meet new people, and new people become fun, at least for a short time. But get to know who you are again. And you can't be lonely if the person you're left alone with is your best friend. So be your best friend. Here is the third phase of the 21-day cleanse. This is where you put out protection. So for 7 days, you focus on protecting your spirit and protecting yourself, so that at the end of that 7 days, that's all 21 days, you're complete, you're protected, your roads are open, and you're cleansed, and now you're ready. Now it's a new world for you. Okay? So now, step 6. Step 6, you should really start during step 4. So before we get into step 6, those were the 5 steps. So regardless of what the situation is, those are the 5 steps to help you heal when you've lost somebody that you loved. Okay? Any questions so far? I know. I'm probably talking 100 miles an hour. And Sean, am I talking too fast?
What? No, you're talking to me. You're fine.
Okay. So a couple more seconds. If there's no questions, I'll move on. I don't even have any thumbs up coming from you guys. Are you even there? Nothing. There we go. Look at that. Look at all. They've all got pens and Sharpies in their bathrooms for that. For those are my good ones. Those are my good ones. And Deb, yes, the new theory is that there's 7 steps to grieving. I'm old school. I still only use the 5. So Tiffany, the candle for step 1 would be a healing candle. And then for step 2, it's the intoxication candle. The lag on this thing, it's so hard for me to see what you guys write. Yes, Amy, it's time to start working it. If you've got one, Amy, you're not the first to buy something and then hold on to it. So when we're compelled to buy something from inexplicable things, there's reasons behind it. Don't buy it and put it in a shelf and save it for a rainy day. Do it. It called to you for a reason. And yes, heartbreak is very much a physical issue, Stephanie. It's a physical pain. That's why we have to heal. Oh, the third candle, Joanne, it's not the third candle. It's the 21-day spiritual cleanse is 1 candle, 3 parts. First part is cleansing. Second part is road opener. Third part is protection. And Deb, I wasn't seeing any comments. It's terrible. So, if I don't respond to your questions, Deb, Sugar, you keep saying that. I got news for you, baby. I got news for you. You're a young soul. Yes, your body's old, but you're a young soul. When I say that it used to be 5 steps and it was 7, you're one of the few people in my audience who probably even knows that there was once only 5 steps. So, now it's about getting even. Work the 5 steps. Work through the process. Take your time. There's no limit. It's however long it takes you. If you've done it and you haven't finished, if you haven't found closure, then you haven't actually completed it. So keep working through it. Even if you got to backtrack a little bit. Go cry some more. Seek counseling. Talk to somebody. Work through the process. Because eventually that pain will go away. Wisteria, your pain in particular. When a parent is disowned by their children, it has got to be one of the most painful things ever. But you have a choice. You can wallow in that grief, or you can choose to do something about it. If you try the reconciliation, if you complete the reconciliation process and in the end they still reject you, you've done your job, you've done your part. And then you just have to accept it, and now you have to go heal. And that's okay. I'm sorry if some of you are having a problem with the video. It'll be posted on my website or on my Facebook page, as well as my YouTube site when I'm done. So now let's get into the dirty stuff. So around step 4, remember step 4, it's about becoming physically active. Start exercising, start singing and dancing, and starting to find happiness and joy. Okay? So this is the perfect time to start making their life suck. And you do that by doing a conjure that I named, My Happiness is Your Misery. We do this working for clients with the basis that for every moment that you're happy, they're suffering. And it's done in 2 jars, one baneful, one positive. The jars are joined together. It's a beautiful thing because it shows how magic actually works. A picture goes on the inner jar of the target with some baneful herbs and some baneful intent. And that jar goes inside the bigger jar. And in the bigger jar, outside of the baneful jar, goes a picture of you with some healing herbs and some powerful help. Fill them both up with water, close them up, shake them every day, work and pray over them, focus on them, and something odd happens. The picture of you doesn't change, but the picture of them withers up, rots, decays, falls apart, as long as you're happy. So you start to see wear on your picture, means you're not focusing on being happy enough. And so you've got to refocus on that. You got to find the oomph to make yourself happy. Okay? So keep working at it. Shake the jar, or let your worker shake the jar for you, and make sure that you bug your worker for the pictures. Because every time you look at that jar, you get to see if you're doing good and if they're sucking. I've done this for a client, and that every day I send her the picture. It blew her mind that he shriveled up and turned to nothing. And yes, hysteria. So guilt was something you were holding on to. That's a negative emotion that you were allowing to remain negative. So steal the energy from that guilt, make it something positive. I showed you how to do that yesterday. Okay. So as you're working through 4 and 5, you're shaking this jar. You're working this. My happiness is your misery working. At some point, you're no longer going to feel bad about the situation. There's no chance of this person coming back into your life. And now you can turn up the heat. You got to be careful because curses can't be undone and they cannot be broken. So once you curse somebody, you kiss a guy that you cursed last week, you are literally laying in your own shit. You are literally ruining your own life with your own baneful work. And it's the worst. When clients call me and tell me that they cursed their boyfriend and now their boyfriend's living with them again, okay, so Stephanie, if the only picture you've got, they're holding somebody else, so they've got somebody with them, you can cut that person out. You literally only need their face. Okay? So, if you bring them back into your life after you've cursed them, you're destroying all the work you've done. So you got to make sure before you decide to curse somebody that you're truly done with them. That you want them out of your life forever. And it doesn't matter. They can show up at your front door with $1 million. You're going to grab the $1 million. You're going to kick them in the chest. You're going to slam the door in their face. That's simple. You have the power. Once you have the power, then it's time to deliver your curse. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 6 of them that work really great. Okay, so the first one is a breakup working. Maybe they left you for someone else. Destroy their relationship. Not to get them back. Not so that he only loves you, because you don't love him anymore. But now it's about revenge. Now you don't want him to be happy. So now you're going to break up the relationship he's in. Okay? And when you see that manifest, you get to live in its glory. Good, Patricia. You should have 0 regrets. Okay. So the second curse that I recommend is turn their life to shit. So this is a special one. You start with a jar full of chicken liver. Now, chicken liver is interesting because it's got good flavor. It's got lots of protein. It's really healthy for you. It has a good aroma if you're a carnivore. It smells good. It does. Trust me. But there's a lot of it. You buy that carton, and there's a fair amount. So you crack that open, and you shove their picture down inside, and you throw some pepper flakes and some other baneful stuff on top of it, and you throw some black arts oil in there, and you close it up, put it inside a Ziploc bag, put it in the back of the refrigerator. And every night or every morning, depending on how your rituals are, you pull it out and you shake it and you whisper to it how terrible his life is and how much his life is turning to shit. Never open it. Let it sit there and rot. Okay? Chicken liver has a shelf life of less than 7 days in your refrigerator. So what happens in 7 days? It starts to change. No longer has the pretty smell. No longer has that deep, dark red. Now it's starting to look kind of brown. If you put the black arts oil, it's almost black. It's kind of questionable what it is. You don't want to open it, but you want to keep it in your refrigerator and keep shaking it. And you can work this one as long as you need to. The longer you want to make his life shit, just keep on working it. And when you're done, you take that baggie and that chicken liver in its container and you go bury it someplace where you can stand on it anytime you need to. I've got a graveyard in my yard specifically for my baneful work, so I can go stomp on my enemies and make them pay. Anytime I got energy, I got to get rid of. And Stephanie, yes, I'll have them all written down when I'm done. They'll be attached to this post as well as the other post. Okay. The third one is roadkill. This one's great. Very big, baneful one. You can go on inexplicable things and see the details. But in essence, what we do is we make the world see the person for what they truly are. We show the world their true colors. And this one isn't for the faint of heart. This one makes the chicken liver look kind of mild. So you go find roadkill, preferably fresh because it's easier to work with. And you process it, package it up nice and pretty. We wrap it in beautiful, beautiful yarn. And before we wrap it, we put all kinds of baneful stuff in it. We pray over it, work over it, baptize it. And then we cut it open so that the world sees what's really inside. Not for the faint of heart. All the baneful stuff is proprietary, so I can't share it. But if that's what you want, is for the world to see what they truly are, we sell it. The fourth one is life sucks. Life sucks is just that. It's kind of like the turn your life to shit, only it's a smaller version. And it's just your life sucks. And you're never going to be happy. We can also do a limp dick. The best part about a limp dick working is now he can't perform. And it works for women too. Just use a different tool than a penis, but it's the same concept. And then the final one, and Miss Shaw loves this one very, very much. You literally stop their life. It's no longer about them advancing or them having a hard life. Their life just stops. They can't get a good job. They can't pay their bills. Nothing seems to happen. And it's called the garlic vein curse. And it just stops their life. And Miss Shaw has developed that one and adopted her own theories behind it. And it does wonders. So the key is, don't start the baneful work until you're healed and you've let go. And when you do start the baneful work, hit them with the best punch you want. And then walk away. At the end of the day, you have to love yourself above everybody else. And I know, moms, this is so hard for you to understand. And yes, Delilah, it could be a dead mouse or a rat. Anything dead. Yolanda, I don't think a cucumber would work. Usually has to have blood in it. Usually has to have once been a living, breathing, eating something. Oh, Bear, you can stop it afterwards and you can pause it. You can watch this video over and over so that you don't miss any parts of it. And feel free to PM me. I'll gladly help all of you out. So, but again, the most important part, work through the first 5 steps. Find closure. Find the person you love and that you want to be, and be that person. Because it is in being that person that you can achieve anything in your life. It is when we have doubt that our magic stops. And it doesn't just stop in our conjure. It stops in every part of our life. So flush that doubt. Write it on a piece of that toilet paper. Wipe your bottom with it and flush it down the toilet. Of yourself. Believe in yourself. Doesn't matter what anybody tells you. You are you. And you are loved as long as you love the person in that mirror. Learn to accept those things. Learn to control those things. Find a reputable conjurer or a reputable product builder. Avoid these store-bought botanicas. Find somebody who makes products from scratch. Buy good products, do good conjure, it helps your belief system. On a side note, before I go, I just want to say that be warned. Over the last 8 months, Miss Shaw and I have seen people come in to many groups, not just ours, and start learning. And about the time they start learning their second skill, they're calling themselves Papa or Mama. Now, mind you, Miss Shaw and I do not call ourselves Mama or Papa. I'm not Papa Kelly, I'm Mr. Kelly. The only title that anybody can give themselves, and it truly be considered respectful, is Mr. or Miss. All other titles come from the people they help. So, if you haven't heard from a worker, ask for references. If you've never seen them before, ask for references. If they can't give you at least 5 to 10 references that you can actually talk to, don't use them. They're going to take your money. They're going to do a shoddy job. I'm not the conjure police. I can't stop somebody from offering conjure or offering readings, but I can teach each of you how to do it right. If you're going to get a reading, don't give them your question. Make them answer it, because if they're truly able to read you, they don't need you to say the question. If you're going to get conjure work done, be realistic. They should put demands on you, and they should guide you. They should educate you as what's going to happen. If they don't, if they just say, oh, it'll cost this much and I'll have it done, ask questions. Don't buy it. And if you've never heard of them, ask for references. So I'll get off my soapbox. It's really starting to bother Miss Shaw and I, because there seems to be a lot of them. Are there any questions before I disappear? Deb, put them in the freezer. Just keep them in the freezer. I've got a squirrel head in my freezer now that Miss Shaw's had for almost a year. She put it there. She said, I'm going to clean this up. And I pulled them out yesterday when I was getting out of beef tongue for working. Just put them in your freezer. Just having them makes you feel better. So, as always, I hope tomorrow you have a beautiful day. And always, no matter what anybody's, do it your way. You're my tribe. Miss Shaw and I love you, each and every one of you, very, very much. Even the ones who just showed up. You've made yourself part of our tribe. Welcome. The love is there for all. If you missed any part of this video, give me about 30 minutes. It'll be back up on my Facebook page, and I'll have it on my YouTube channel. If you have other questions, feel free to PM me. Much easier for us to talk one-on-one. Love each and every one of you very much. You have a wonderful night. Thank you all for coming.